Pops and the Rican.
Pops and the Pops and
Look at this. Pops and the Rican. The Pops and the Rican. What's the Pops and the Rican?
Look at the top of his head. Look at his head.
Pops and the Rican.
Pops and Pops.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Pops and the Rican Show.
Wahoo!
Yeah, buddy. We're live again. How you feeling, man? You feeling good? You you goof. You straight muted. That's great. That's good to know, man. I'm glad you're doing well.
Did I have my mic on?
Yes.
I'm
No, you did not. Nice. What's up? What's going on?
I think
How you
I'm
feeling?
I think I'm getting old.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, because all of a sudden I'm just like, hey, we're talking. And
No.
I'm like, yeah. So yeah, I think I'm getting old. I don't know. Maybe we should get all the buttons and move them away from me.
No.
That's what we should do.
That's what
I don't know.
Yeah, we shouldn't give you any controls at all.
Yeah. So how you doing?
Bro, I'm feeling good. I'm happy. I am happy to be here. I'm happy with what's coming up, man. I'm excited what's going on. Things are happening. I'm excited about just the freedom now to be able to at least move and nudge a little bit in this crazy time. But I'm still very, very happy at how everything is turning out, man. It's scary. At first it was scary times. Now it's starting to see a little light in the end of the tunnel, bro.
Yeah, now that they're actually saying, okay, here's the dates. You have to be within these parameters, and we're going to start to let you kind of ease your way back into things. And I think that's given us a little bit of breathing room, and it's to me it's a little bit exciting because we know effectively the 24th of the month, the 24th of May.
Yeah.
We could open up at 50% of capacity. Well, since we don't have shows on, I think what the 24th is maybe Monday.
Yeah.
We don't have shows on Monday.
Nah.
But yeah, we do on that following weekend. So the 29th and the 30th, we're planning on getting things open, and we got Joe Bates coming out to headline.
Yep.
And Joe's excited about being able to hit the stage and have some fun at Gutty's. And and our feature that weekend is Jake Rubel.
Yep.
And Jake's geeked up and ready to rock and roll.
Equally excited. Yep.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
So it's
and we got Hoss Ridgeway. You can't forget the man, the Hoss.
Oh yeah. Well, pretty much that's just about every time we open the doors. Hoss is there.
Yeah, that's what we love our Hoss Ridgeway, man.
I when I stopped by the club last week and there was nothing going on, I fully expected him to be in the building just because he's there all the time. So
right.
But no, Hoss is going to do a guest spot, and I know he's been working on a couple of new things. I don't know what his plans are for that, but that. And we got the house pretty much set. We've done all the cleaning. Yep. And all of that. We've got everything kind of set into place, and
it's looking nice. We got some hand sanitizer. I mean, we're set to where it's going to be comfortable, very comfortable. It's going to be great to be able to adjust the room accordingly. So we're getting it right just so that everybody can come out and enjoy some comedy that is so desperately needed, bro.
And for those people that are saying, well, what if I need a mask and I don't have one? Well, we got that taken care of.
Let them know what's up. Let them know what we got going on.
We've got those tubies. Those
tubies.
Tubies, yeah.
Right. And you could use them like a mask, bandana, the whole nine. And the cool thing about them is the fact they got Gutties sweat. It's Gutties logos on it. So you can represent Gutties wherever you go. And that's going to be cool. And that's a great support too as well. And also to every single person, we want to give you a shout out to all the people that have given to Gutties Comedy Club to help us throughout these dark times. You've helped us. You've encouraged us. You hit us up with emails, and you also helped us out financially. We cannot say it enough. Thank you so much for helping Gutties Comedy Club, and Pops and I just keep the doors open and to be able to try this out, to keep rolling. It was close.
Not just the people who supported us financially, but there was so many people that showed their support in a number of, like, Bob East, who, he's great cartoonist, great character artist, and he's like, hey, if somebody gives a certain amount of money to the club, I'll do your character for you.
Yeah.
And he is so stinking talented, and for him to, he gave that. It's something that if you go to
his time, bro.
If you go to an Indians baseball game here in Indianapolis, the minor league team here, you go to one of those games, he's out there drawing people and getting paid per drawing, and he gave that to us to say, hey, if people want to give some money, I'll do that as my contribution. And it's those types of things that just humbled me. Yeah. And I'm grateful for everybody who gave, whether it was their talents or financially, man. It's been humbling, but it's been a very refreshing and exciting time to see how people came together to say, hey, we want to support live, clean, family-friendly comedy right here in Greenwood, Indiana. Yep. At Gutties, the premier comedy club for clean comedy here.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, exactly. And I think one of the greatest things about what's been happening too, as well, as it pushed us to get content out to everybody. And now we can connect with all of the great comedians that are been coming through to Gutties Comedy Club through Pops and the Rican Show. And that is so cool to be able to at least showcase, or at least introduce to everybody that comes to Gutties Comedy Club, these awesome comedians that roll through the Pops and the Rican Show, which, by the way, tonight we have a great special guest too as well that has that same clout too as well, and that push as a headliner too as well. And I'm excited to have him on the show as well. So I'm happy that we can do that as well with the Pops and the Rican Show.
Well, and that's the cool thing. We had him scheduled before all of this happened. We had him scheduled, and it didn't work out then. Yeah. We're working on getting him locked in for a new date to have him come in. And the plan was, and I believe still is, that when he rolls through to do a show here at Gutties Comedy Club, the plan is we're going to record that show. So he'll have a brand new album to release after that. So it'll be live from Gutties Comedy Club.
Yeah, buddy.
Brent Reed in your face,
right?
In your lap. Maybe not in your lap. I don't know.
No, we don't want that. We don't have that to have.
He gets a little crazy every once in a while. He might try that. I don't know.
Well, we want to give a quick shout out really quick to Kiki. She can't wait to get back to see the good comedians that Gutties bring. So we appreciate you, Kiki, and your support too as well. And everybody who's on right now that's watching Pops and the Rican Show, we appreciate you for following us, like us. Click that bell so that way you're subscribed and you know exactly when notifications are coming up too. We appreciate you too, and we're excited about the club coming up. And so let's get this show going. What do you say?
I say it's time for us to introduce my good friend. He and I, we've known each other for a long time. We actually did a DVD project. It's about 10 years ago. Brent and I and two other great comics, Dan McGowan and Stephen B. We got together and did a DVD for the heavyweights of clean comedy. And he's a great friend. It's an honor for me to hang out with him when I get a chance. Let's welcome to the stage my good friend, the very large Brent Reed.
Oh,
what's going on, man? Are
Am
you
I
still
actually
involved?
on? Am I
Yeah.
on, or Dennis pushed the right button, or just?
He's not letting me. He's not letting me anywhere close to him now.
You're
I'm like,
on now, man. You're
I
on now.
tell you what, I saw that, and all I was thinking about is, I love old people. I really do, and yeah, I don't know. Just take every button away from him. Take him off his shirt. He can't be responsible for anything.
Right. Right.
But just,
Exactly.
Sorry.
this is the closest thing I've had to actually buttons, because at the house Mary has everything velcroed for me. So it's
Down to the shoes.
Oh, that's he poor Dennis. He thinks he goes home. It's the nursing home. They have everything velcroed down for him. Really not his house. It's a facility. It's a facility, and she comes to visit every once in a while.
Yeah.
We call it the home. It's okay. As long as it has the word home in it, I'm happy. Okay?
Right. Exactly. Well, welcome to the show, Brent. We appreciate you, man, and appreciate your talent. Thanks so much for taking the time to be able to connect with us on the Pops and the Rican Show. Let's just jump right into it, man. We like to talk a little bit about how you even got into the game, and how comedy has pretty much affected your life, and how you can share with those who follow us. Some of them are comics as well that are just starting. Some of them are seasoned vets too as well. We like to give a little bit of something to each one. So let's just start off. How did you jump into comedy?
Well, I was born, and that started everything off. Yeah, my mother gave birth, and that really started it, because when the doctor saw me, he started laughing. So I'm thinking, hey, I got a career right out of the womb.
Right.
But no, I started in radio when I was 15.
Okay.
And I DJ'd Southern gospel music, which is still my favorite type of music, quartet music. And I was working radio and got married at a young age when I was 16. And at about 19, I said, I want to do comedy. So I told my wife I was going to open mics, and I'm going to kill at this because I'm going to be really good at it. So the first night I got up on this comedy stage in Houston, Texas, at the Comedy Showcase at Danny Martinez's club, got up and I did whatever other comic did for 2 minutes. I cussed, swore, and did a bunch of sex jokes, off-color jokes. And I thought I killed. Second show on a Friday night. Walked off stage, they're laughing. Danny Martinez looks at me and goes, well, you're funny, but you're not welcome to come back to the club. And I'm like, why? He goes, well, second show Friday night, they're drunk. You could have went, blah, and they would have laughed.
That's true.
That doesn't give you an ounce of talent. Now you're just going to have to take that skill and the next couple of years work at it, and then I may give you some stage time. 2 years? What, are you kidding me? He goes, yeah, because it's going to take you that long to write a show. Write something clean. Show me you actually have some little bit of talent, and then you can get on stage. And I was like, that's frustrating, but then I started doing all those little things everybody else has to do, those little dive bars where they're all drunk and they're talking, they're heckling you, and you bombed and you get up there and, oh, this is a funny bit. And 3 people after the show that were drunk goes, he was the funniest man I've ever heard of. And you're like, you don't count. You're my family. You know.
Exactly.
Have another drink, Mom.
Dad. Right. Exactly.
Yeah, it's like, thanks for coming out, Uncle Ben. Just leave now. Okay. It's all right.
And I get that. Okay. That's cool.
But
Go ahead.
There's no shortcuts.
Right.
Let me just say that you're either going to work hard at it, you're going to be really funny. And best advice I can give new and upcoming comedians, it's going to take you years to find your voice.
Come on, talk about it, man. Talk about it.
Because you're going to sit there and you're going to have shows where that crowd, that audience is going to love you for, a couple of shows, and you're going to kill. Then you're going to bomb the next 3. That means you haven't found your voice. That means a couple of particular audiences liked you, but you are not at billing rate. That's just frank. That's, you got material, but you just haven't found what it's like. You haven't found your energy. You haven't found your voice. You haven't found your stage presence. You got material, but you're nowhere close to being a billing comic or somebody they would, say, okay, night after night, you can do this. Now, I always say this, and I heard a lot of comedians say this: you're still going to bomb. The greatest thing, I heard Jeff Foxworthy do his podcast the other day. You're going to bomb. He still bombs. I mean, every once in a while, he'll go home and go, what was I thinking?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, am I nuts? I should quit this job right now.
Well, that's interesting because think about it. It's Jeff Foxworthy. You would think he would say, "Oh, it was just a crowd," or they didn't, they sucked. But at least he was, going inward and saying, whoa, what was I thinking, or what didn't work? What could I have done differently instead of, blaming the crowd? So that's interesting.
Oh, I always sit there, and every comedian will tell you this. I can kill a show. 99% of that show, everybody's laughing except one idiot on the front row, and I'll turn to my wife because, man, I could have done better.
Yep.
I could have done better. Why did not one guy did not laugh? I mean, I brung my A material, I brung my B material, I brung my F material, I brung my C material. I would just go through the outfit. I don't know, but I brung everything, threw it at that one guy, and he just stood there and just looked like I just said, "Hey, COVID-19, I have it." Whatever. Exactly. So this guy was just like, I don't know. It bothers you, but you never get over that.
Right.
So
Brent, did you ever find yourself looking and saying, okay, I went through the English alphabet and I'm bringing the Japanese alphabet, and I got to find something for this idiot. I mean, this guy. Yeah.
Well, you try your best, but then you get focused on that one guy and you can ruin the entire show.
That's it. Right. Yeah. I mean, you shouldn't, but I know that's every, I shouldn't say every, but I know for myself, I do the same thing too. It's like if I see one or two people that are not having a good time or at least laughing, it's almost like a challenge. It's like I'm challenged now. I want to try to make these two laugh. Even though I got everybody else having a good time, I still want those two to have a good time too as well. So the challenge is there. It's just, is it worth sacrificing the show? And I don't think it's worth sacrificing the show.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's your ego. It's your mindset. It's your I can do better.
Yeah.
No, you're doing quite well. Everybody loved you. Maybe he's thinking about something else. His mind's not even the show. I mean, going to church, the pastor, the altar's full. I'm the only sinner in the back. It wasn't the pastor. You know what I'm saying? He did his job. Everybody's at the altar. I'm just thinking about, is Golden Corral Buffet open after COVID-19?
Exactly.
Where I'm going to eat. It had nothing to do with the pastor. You know what I'm saying? Everybody felt the presence of the Lord. I was thinking about food. This is my fault.
That's real, man. That's real.
I will say this. That's why I think I was kind of meant to do stand up, because I don't pay enough attention to what anybody's doing in the audience anyway. So if they're laughing, great. If they're not laughing, I don't pay attention to it.
Right.
Not because I don't care. I'm just too old to pay attention. So
you got to a place now where you're comfortable to be like, it doesn't matter what people think. I'm just going to go do my thing. And that's the thing, is in the beginning part of your career, as you're going along, it does matter what people think about.
Oh, yeah.
That's a constant battle in your head. So when you get to a place now where you're comfortable to be like, it doesn't matter whether they liked my set or not, I'm going to continue to do it. That's where it's almost like there's a transition that goes from, I'm doing this to get people to like me, to I'm doing it because I love to do this. And there's somebody out there that's going to definitely feel what I'm saying. Because I believe that everybody's got an audience. You just got to find them.
Anybody can find the audience. Okay. Let me stay by that. If you have you've been doing it long enough, anybody can be an audience. The store clerk, the person behind the deal, you can make anybody laugh if you find your brand. Fear plays a lot of big factor in comedy. Let me tell you what fear does. I saw a kid doing an open mic, and another headliner brought him in, and he was at a comedy club in Arkansas. And he got up there and he did his jokes, and when the audience didn't laugh the way that he wanted them to, he went downright vulgar. I mean, just horrible against the audience. And then the next set, he walked and he started to do a joke that would have killed. It would have been a great joke, but he was so nervous the audience didn't laugh that he walked to the edge of the stage and started messing with the audience, which is not his forte. He's not good at it. He doesn't have the experience of that. And then after that, the next 5 minutes, he's trying to dig himself out of a hole he's bombing that he dug himself into.
Okay.
If he would have just delivered the joke and had confidence in his material, he would have been fine. But no, the audience smelled fear as soon as he walked to the side of the stage. And I told him, I friended him afterwards. I said, why? I said, if you would have delivered the joke, it would have been fine, but you got scared. He goes, no, I didn't. I said, bull, watch the video. You taped this. You walked to the side of the stage. You started messing with the audience. You became out of your material, became out of your comfort zone. You don't have the experience.
Yeah.
And then the audience smelled fear and you lost it.
That's it.
That's not good. That's not good. Once they smell fear, you're not confident what you're going to do. They're not going to laugh at you.
Right.
And it takes years to get to that point.
Brent, that brings up a great point because, one of the reasons I really enjoy working with you when I get the chance is you've put in the work and you've learned how to work an audience. You get in and really engage and really allow the audience to encounter the show in a way that you don't shy from it. You don't let them take control of it, but you do a great job of that. What are some tips that you might have for our listeners that might be thinking about what does it take to really get in and do some crowd work? What are some things that they should be ready for? What are some tips you might have for them?
I do three main steps. One is, first of all, I always get to my show early. I don't give a care if it's your comedy club, if it's a corporate event, church event. I walk around and meet my audience. Number one is I'm always listening. They give me material.
Yeah.
Overhear a conversation, overhear something. They go, oh, that's so-and-so is over there. Oh, yeah, tell me some more about so-and-so. It's always a callback. If I can make them laugh and they're familiar with me before the show, they're more adaptable to come up on stage. They're more, it's like, oh, yeah, there's Brent. Oh, I'm glad he's on stage. You know what I'm saying? That's number one. Number two is if you've never done audience interaction, okay, ease into it. Okay?
Come on, man.
You can be a stand-up comic, but if you can do what I can do, you better be really, and this is my ego talking, you better be really good at it because you can dig yourself a hole. You might as well stick to your material and get off stage.
Okay.
Because if you don't have quick wit off the top of your head, you're going to bomb. There's a prime example of not bombing, but a specialist that I love is a guy named Jimmy Brogan.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if Dennis knows who Jimmy is. I don't know Jimmy is a mastermind at he has those comebacks. It's already in the back of his head. You know what I'm saying? And he knows what he's doing. Mine is I just keep asking you questions, and the dumbest thing you can do is answer them. But people do. It's like, oh, so how long y'all been married? Really? So is this the one you wanted?
Right.
What are you going to say to that? It's a trap, but they don't know that. They respond, and then I react off their response, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's funny." Well, I heard about Billy. Oh, you're the ones that Ethel was telling me about before the show. Y'all just got. Oh yeah, I talked to Ethel. Me and Ethel are good friends. We're Facebook friends now, and people's like, "Oh, this is going to get good,"
Okay.
Because I put the work in. Number two is don't do it unless you know what you're doing. If not, work your material and have strong material to do it.
Okay.
And then know when to feed in. Greatest piece of advice is do 5 or 10 minutes of comedy right off the bat. But my go-to is if they're not liking the couple of jokes I do right off the bat, I go right into the audience interaction.
Okay.
That's my saving grace on that.
How has it changed though since the whole sensitive, it's all sensitive now, you got to be super sensitive to, you don't want to offend certain people a certain way. How have you been able to adapt to that type of crowd, because some people might be like, dude, I'm offended by what you just said, and it's all these snowflakes. But at the same time, you still have to be able to adapt and run. Do you just still keep it real and just whatever's whatever?
All right, here's the truth. You're a human being, they're a human being. Every show you're going to offend, you're a comedian.
Yeah.
Get over it.
Yeah.
There's somebody that's going to have feelings that didn't like the fat joke, even though you were making fun of yourself. Get over it. That's not your responsibility to pander to their feelings on the deal. It's it's a clean joke. They hired you to be a clean comedian. Do your material. You're not picking on them, but they walk away. Well, I didn't like the fat jokes. Okay. All right. That's your problem, not mine. I didn't say anything about you being big. I said I was talking about me. Mm-hmm. I make that understood when a corporation hires me, because a lady hired me in Nebraska, just a quick story. And she was like, well, we had some of the people who were just worried about your big big man jokes and stuff. And so please don't do this. I said, no, I'm going to do them. She goes, well, sir, why? I'm going, because they're about me. If you watch the video, the big man, the fat man jokes are about me. It's my way of taking down the walls between me and the audience at the beginning of my show. Never pick on anybody about being fat. Never said anything about that. And number two is, in this society, I'll give you, for example, I do 90% of mine's corporate comedy, and they're very sensitive. They're very worried you're going to offend. But there's also, we go back to the fear factor. Do not become a comedian if you're going to have a fear factor. Okay.
It goes back to what you were talking about, though. When you have enough trust in the material that you've written and the work and the preparation you've done, you trust that enough. You know that you've got the funny stuff, and then what you're doing, you're writing material about yourself. And again, it goes back to the rule: never punch down.
Right.
If you can punch up towards yourself all day long, but never punch down. And when you do that, yes, you're right. You're going to have people that are going to get offended, but you can't let. So I'll say this: if you're watching the video of the show and you're liking what Brent is saying and you're getting some benefit from that, do me a favor and give us a thumbs up on that.
Yeah, definitely.
Because let us know that that this is helpful.
Yeah, if you got any comments too as well, if you got any questions, let us know, because we can post them up. If you got any questions for Brent, let us know too as well.
Your life is going to be miserable if you're thinking of having a future as a comedian, if you're worried about the fear factor.
That's good. That's a good point. That is a good point.
I'll just give you one more example, if I may, real quick.
Go ahead.
Go right.
Go ahead.
I did a corporate event in Houston, Texas, and I do this audience. I taught defensive driving for like 20-something years for people to get speeding tickets. So I bring people out of the audience and bring them up stage, and they have to use one word at a time, talk their way out of a ticket, work as a team. Well, I bring up this guy, and the first thing he says as soon as he gets on stage, he goes, "Hi, my name is Craig, and I'm a homosexual." And I'm like, well, good for you. I'm glad you're happy. That was basically it. Well, we did the little thing, and they have to make animal sounds, and Craig did some kind of weird sound, and he went, or something weird. And I'm going, "Craig, are you single?" He goes, "Yeah." I says, "Is that your mating call?" I says, "Because there's one thing I'm not going to do during my show is start a Craigslist for you."
There it is.
Okay. Now, that's not offensive. That's just funny. The owner loved it. The crowd loved it. Craig loved it. After the show, he walks up and goes, "Can I give you a hug, man?" He goes, "I was trapping you." He said, "As soon as I came on stage, I just wanted to see if you were going to make fun of me for being a homosexual." Seriously.
Oh, wow.
And he said, "I knew you were a clean comic." And I said, "I knew exactly what you're doing." I says, "But I got you back later. We had fun with it, didn't we?" Craig goes, "Oh, yeah, I had a blast." So if I would have took that going, "Oh, no. Oh, well, Craig's up here. I have to be careful. Just tiptoe around Craig." No, I brought Craig to the front. You know what I'm saying? I didn't tiptoe around Craig being on stage with me. I had fun. I treated him just like I did everybody else that I would that comes up on the stage.
Right.
We're going to have fun with this. Sit back, relax. You're in for a ride, but if I sit there and went with deer in the headlights, going, Okay, Craig. Okay, okay. Well, you stand over here, and I'll ask you very few questions because I'm intimidated. Or I'm afraid by what you just said.
Mm.
I need to stop doing what I'm doing.
Oh, that's
That's
dope.
yeah.
That's
So
that's an interesting. That can definitely be something where it can take the whole show a different route. You either just stay the course or it's just gonna go. It's gonna go south. So it's cool that you stuck with it, because it could have gotten kind of silly. So those steps that you just gave as far as like crowd participation and being able to work the crowd. Did you just, like you were saying earlier, you just jumped in and just was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and, because you said ease into it was one of the steps that you said, just ease into crowd work. But at the same time, when did you get to a place where you're like, you know what, this is, this is it. I'm going to be able to jump in. I could do 20 minutes of riffing.
I can. I talked to, like I said, defensive driving for 20 years, which gave me a audience of 20 to 25 people for 6 hours that weren't going nowhere because the court says they have to stay there to get their tickets dismissed. That was crowd work.
That's
Okay,
it.
it was like, hey, you can't go bye-bye until I sign that little sheet of paper for the judge to say your ticket's going bye-bye. So, hey, knock, knock, who's there?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm here
Exactly.
for 6 hours. But no, when I started doing the corporations, they were like, well, we'd like to send you some information about our bosses, or we'd like to send you some information about our company. Then I knew that I had to interact with the audience. I had to put this information into the program. And then I realized I'm really good at it. That's one reason I get hired. I'm really good at messing with the audience. And I've got comedian friends of mine to this day will not do crowd interaction whatsoever because they have that set routine in their head. Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
And if they
Veer
go off
a little
that,
bit, yeah.
they're dead in the water.
And I will tell you,
Yeah.
I have seen this happen so many times and you and I both do corporate comedy. When you get out there and you're doing your show and you interact with an audience, they remember that a whole lot longer. They may, at the end of the show, if you're just bam, 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 and you're doing your material, they'll leave the show and they'll say, wow, that was funny. But 2 weeks later, they're not still talking about it. Where when Brent Reed goes into a corporation and he's having fun and he's getting guys up on stage and he's bantering back and forth with them, months later, they're still talking about that interaction because the jokes were funny. And they're like, yes, he was so funny, but they don't remember necessarily the bits and the jokes you were doing, but they remember the interaction. They remember the connection. And that's so key for comics to understand how critical it is to really have a great connection.
I don't want to miss it. I'm giving you my perspective of how I do comedy.
Yeah, sure.
There's a lot of comedians out there that can do killer sets, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
And people just love it. That's not me. That's that's the reason I recently changed to audience interaction specialist. That's key of what I do. I'm not don't sit down and write a lot of jokes material. But I do have to write jokes. You know what I'm saying? That's part of it.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Rest of it, like I said, is getting to know the audience, know who's you can bring on stage, know that who you've met before, get the material, and a lot of prep. There's a comedian. I'll just take one more quick story. Nazareth, and Naz has a thick book. I've opened for Naz a couple of times. And his material, he'll go through the set and they'll learn something about the town and where they're at, and he goes through that. That's his prep. If you want to do audience interaction specialist, if you want to be an audience interaction person at all, do the work the crowd ahead of time, find out where you're going with all this. So that's my prep. So it's not looking at a joke list, it's messing with the audience. So
And that's the thing is everybody has their approach. And that's why we wanted to pick your brain on that specific thing is because when we watch you do your crowd interactions, it's almost uncanny how natural it is to be able to just command a crowd like that. And so to at least get a couple tips on how to do it is another way to add to your comedy
Yeah.
repertoire, in essence, is to be able to have a solid set. If you can add something like riffing or at least crowd participation, man, that just increases your set, and having those tips, man, help big time. So I appreciate you sharing that with us.
But I used to beat myself up. I mean,
Okay.
really, you ask my wife, I used to beat myself up going, oh, can you believe I'm not, Tim Hawkins has a killer set, or this comedian has this.
Yeah.
And then my wife kept saying, but you're not them.
Exactly.
They don't,
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying? You're not that person. That's the reason we go back to that main thing. You have to find out what works for you.
Right.
And there was a big name comedian, Anita Renfro. And I'll just tell you this, I did a conference at the CCA, and I got off stage and thought I did a great job. And I heard Anita didn't like my comedy deal because she thought, I was loud in your face kind of a deal.
Mhm.
So I went to John Renfro, her husband. I'm going, man, I was so upset that Anita didn't like my routine. And John goes, well, what do you care? I'm going, what do you mean? He goes, well, what do you care? He goes, you making a living at this? I'm going, yeah. He says, people still hiring you? He goes, yeah. Then what's Anita's opinion matter? You know what I'm saying?
That's real, man. That's
So-
because it's subjective. You know what I mean? Like comedy just has that thing. I was talking to my wife the other day about it too, about comedy and even watching The Voice. Like she watches The Voice and she likes to watch to see who's going to win and whatnot. But the thing about the competition is the fact that everybody has a specific style, and whether that person sings like and can run and do all this stuff, and this
Right.
other person just keeps it simple, doesn't mean that they can't sing or doesn't mean that they don't have skill. It's just a specific take, like a personal preference. And that doesn't mean I don't, I could say, no, I don't like his style. That doesn't mean he can't sing or he's not good at what he does. It's just my specific take on it, but it doesn't matter whether I like it or not. It's just the fact that you're doing what you love to do, and you're doing your skill set, and you're performing. And if you got, I was telling her, like 50% of the room can laugh at your jokes and the other 50% is just sitting there deadpanning. Does that mean you're not good at what you do? It's just you're working the room and you're doing what you're doing. Just because one person says, hey, you were funny that night, the other person might, the next person would be like, hey, it was good. It wasn't, my thing, but it was good. And what can you do with that? Nothing. You just got to keep pressing and keep going, regardless of whether or not, somebody likes your bit or not.
As you all know, as comedians, there's probably 2 or 3 things that are consistent. One is timing. You can either do jokes where you're standing up there and you're a sloth, but you're extremely funny being a sloth. Your jokes. You could be the punchline king, set up, do a punchline, do a punchline. That's your thing. You can just do an audience interaction, kind of a deal. So there's, they have, you just got to figure out what works for you. And other comedians can help you with timing. Other comedians can say, okay, well, you need to, what we call in the industry, cut the fat.
Yeah.
Take a joke and
words. Yep.
Yeah. Cut this out of there and redo it. Get to that punchline faster. You got a funny joke, but I think there's more there. Trim it and do something with it. So you always learn from other comedians. They can tell you that, but they can't tell you how to do your style. You have to figure that out on your own. So
okay, so
and I say this to comics all the time. You've got to be you, and if you can, there's only one you, and so you have to be you. You have to be able to really know who you are and what you're really wanting to share with your audience. So be you, but at the end of the day, word economy is a critical component. You've got to be able to get rid of all of the clutter in a joke, and then really get to the gold as quick as possible.
Yeah. Well, real quick, let's jump out. We have a comment here from June Colson, who's been here at Gutty's, and she says, "I think it adds to the fun for the comedian, because no matter how you prep, some things will be unpredictable for you. So you're not only giving a unique experience, you're giving a unique experience too. Like, so you're giving that too as well. And so
Right.
she also asked too as well that she's curious to know how you learned early on that didn't work too as well. So I think I read that right. So it's like she's just curious to learn how you learned that worked out for you.
Well, I'll give you the biggest lesson I learned that didn't work out for me, trying to be a copycat.
Okay. That's
Okay.
what's up.
In other words, watching other comedians and just going, okay, I've got to do it like this. I got to put the mic behind me. I've got to stand in this one position. I've got to have this a certain amount of energy. When you see him on stage, you're going to learn two things about me. One is I may be a big guy, but I'm like a tornado at the beginning.
Okay.
And I figured that energy sets me apart from anybody else. I just don't stand there with a mic. I go and I'm high energy. I'm just like in your face for the first 5 or 10 minutes. And then I relax it and start messing with the audience. So when I started out doing comedy, I tried to be that cookie cutter, stand up there, write the joke, bam, 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 bam. And I was like, this is not working for me. Like I went back to before, the jokes were jokes, but the jokes weren't working as good. There was no Brent behind it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
There was no me behind the joke.
Right.
There was none of my personality. There was none of my my mess ups, none of my energy, none of my expressions. That's a whole nother thing. But your expressions can sell a joke. You know what I'm saying? When I ask an audience a stupid question and somebody responds to me, I'll roll my eyes half the time going, really? I'm looking at the audience going, did he really just say that? And it buys like 2 or 3 extra jokes.
That's true. It does fill in that place where, okay, I can get my other joke ready while everybody's kind of, getting ready and set up. So it does give you that pace at least, or that space, kind of like a couple beats when you're doing music to be able to jump into the next one.
Yeah, and I've seen June do comedy, and she's awesome. By the way, I just want to say, hi, June. So find your voice. That's going to be the key. Don't become the cookie cutter comedian that everybody thinks you should be. Find your voice, and when you find that, you're going to be a lot happier. Then, if you really make a mistake on stage, stop blaming the audience. You know what I'm saying? I got booked for a funeral home directors association. The guy calls me, can't write this to save my life. True story. I'm on speaker and he goes, hello, sir. And I'm going, yeah. He goes, we'd like you to come January to perform for our group. We're a lively bunch. There ain't a dead one in the crowd. All right. What kind of organization is it? He goes, Funeral Directors of Alabama. And I lost it. I'm like, I'm like, if they have that kind of sense of humor and want to book a comedian, I need to do the show. And I turned to my wife and I'm going, this is how much they're paying me for. She goes, who is it for? I said, the Funeral Directors of Alabama. And I love my wife without missing a beat. I just said, well, make sure they don't stiff you. And I'm just like,
I love it. That's the thing. That's it. It's already setting up for you, man. You can't write it.
Yeah, you can't do that. And it was like, I'm such a big guy that when I got there, I was handing I said, my brother went along with me because Audrey couldn't make the trip. And I said, I appreciate it. My opening joke was like, their funeral director. I said, my opening joke was like, hey guys, would y'all please stop handing my brother your business card? You know what I'm saying? Going, well, we look at him. If he has a heart attack tonight, we do have, double wide crematoriums. And they're just like, so, that started just ragging on them being funeral directors and me being fat and they're looking like a next sale, it's next opportunity.
That's it, man.
But it was one of the best crowds, but then you've also had churches you're looking at you like, don't know why you're there. The same material that's killed in churches, but some church crowds are like,
Yeah.
If God come back now, we're all going to hell, right?
And
Right?
that's the
Right.
thing. Okay, see that, and that is why we kind of get into the whole conversation about why Gutties exists is because of that specific thing. We didn't want to be too much to the right, you know what I'm saying, where it's all like, oh, you can't, those things are
Yeah.
taboo, you can't really, but at the same time, we don't want to be vulgar and we're not going to get all crazy with it and allow that. We want to be able to have it where there's an even balance of comedy and creativity, because when you can create on stage where there's the without these restrictions, see, like you were saying earlier, you got to know your crowd. And so when these guys set up and they came up and they said, hey, we want to have you here, and he just already started off the bat just telling jokes, you already know, okay, they're going to be primed. And there's been times here at Gutties when we walk the room, you scan the room, you just read the room, and right when they came through the door, they're cracking jokes, the family is having fun. You already know that that squad is ready to have a good time. So when you know that the room is ready, then your confidence is just like, oh, it's about to go down, because they're ready to have a good time. So I appreciate your take on understanding the crowd, understanding the room, look around, introduce yourself, get to know them. So that way, when you go up there, it's almost as if you're family now. Now it's like, that's how I liken it too. When I go up there, at first, I like to establish the room as if you're in my living room and we're hanging out like family, because then there's that freedom to be able to just kind of like ease into them a little bit. And if you could see, okay, they kind of like that, cool, then I'm going to jump in with this joke. So you have that freedom, be able to know. So if you know the crowd, you know how they're working, that's a good feeling.
You need to, for new comics, and
yeah,
you don't have to like me or anything for the comment I'm fixing to make. You're a new comic. Walk around, get to know your audience. Don't sit in the green room and go over your. You should know your set list before you hit that stage. That's number one.
Yep.
You should know what you're doing. Don't be sitting back there looking at your notes and then you're nervous as everything. Loosen up, know your crowd, walk around, say hi to this family. Just be loose. Don't be so high strung.
Right.
Because if you're high strung, you get on that stage and you're opening for me, or you're the feature and you bomb because you didn't do your job. Okay.
You better be ready.
I'm not going to be really happy with you.
Yeah.
But I'm really not going to care. Let's just get it out of the way. I might as well let's go with the whole ego thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm funny enough that I'll carry that crowd.
Right.
But I shouldn't have to.
Right.
Because of not the work you didn't put into it.
Right.
I shouldn't have to. You're the opener. You're the feature. You get them primed for something. I'm ready to come on there, bring the tornado, bring the house down. You're supposed to do something about your job. That's what your job is. You just got hired in at the ground level. You're not the assistant manager yet. You're not managing yet. Okay. You're just an employee. Set it up. You're doing good. Great. Get off the stage. Keep working your time. Keep working your material, but put it in.
Right.
Do something. Don't have an ego. Oh, I'm a comedian tonight. Oh, it could be 5 minutes. I'm going to stay in the green room.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You study those notes before you get up there. And, and some biggest thing that ever irritates me is unless you're doing a whole new routine, you bring your flip notebook up there and whatever, and you have to look down at it. I'm like, really? You should have been studying this whole routine before you ever got up there.
Yeah, when it comes to a primetime show like that, that's something that we Dennis and I make sure that we want, because everybody's coming in to have a good time. They're coming to see a show. It's not open mic. It's not try my material out. I get that, but I just feel like it needs to be more organic. And you just go up there and do your what we're paying you to do. As one thing, as far as business wise. And being a professional, we're expecting you to perform and be professional. And so if you can come with the set, do your thing, make it happen, make them laugh. Thank you so much. See you later.
And the best advice I can give a new comic right now is we're dealing with COVID-19 and the coronavirus. And like I told you before, if you don't have material by now, Stop.
Stop.
Okay.
Get
Quit.
something out there. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
There ought to be Corona and COVID-19 material for the next 3 to 5 years that you should have.
At
Come
least
on.
something. Yeah, be creative too. Don't be.
Dear Lord,
And
Lord,
if you don't have the material by now, you better learn how to run the French fry machine at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Please.
Dear Lord. I mean, stuff writes itself. I know we're talking seriously about people being comedians. Something happened to me the other day was so stupid that it was so funny. I walked into Ace Hardware, and with my son, he was looking for chicken wire. They were out of chicken wire. Apparently, everybody's buying chickens and toilet paper. I don't know. It's like they keep their own poop. You know what I'm saying? The environmentalists are out there going, hey, chicken poop on the ground is bad for the environment. We need toilet paper to wipe it up, chicken wire to keep the chickens in. I don't know.
Right.
Anyway, we're in Ace, and I can't write this. I tell folks all the time, I don't write this. The funniest stuff is the truth.
Yeah.
I go up to the guy, I'm going, just by chance, do you have any hand sanitizer? Because my idiot son forgot to put some in the truck, and I just got out of the hospital having a heart cath and stuff. I need some hand sanitizer. So help me. The guy goes, shh. Hey. Yeah, we have some,
He's hustling.
but I can't talk here.
Like he's got stash, bro, in the back.
I was like, I'm not wanting cocaine, dude. I don't want drugs. I want hand sanitizer. He's like, I know, man. Just chill, okay? We got a shipment in, okay? It's on a keychain. Comes with a little keychain, if you don't mind that. I don't mind it. It's okay. It comes with a keychain, but you got to meet me by the red double doors in the back, okay?
Instructions.
And knock 3 times when you get back there.
Right.
And I'll hand it to you. I'm like, how much is it? He goes, we're charging $2 a bottle. How many would you like? Start to say, well, I'm gonna back up my truck, because if this is the good stuff, not the off-brand, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I want the street value stuff.
Exactly. He got the goods, bro. He got the goods. I'm gonna have to get the goods.
I mean, he was like selling me Germ-X, but the street kind, you know what I'm saying?
Sitting there looking like Walter White talking about it.
He shushed me. I promise you. I'm like, do you have a hand sanitizer? He's like, shh. Yeah. All right.
He got the good stuff. Bro.
Can you give me $20 on pump 2?
Is that like code? It's like code to get like some sanitizer in the back, and we get 20 on 2. And he's like, I got
you. I can't write that. That's the truth story, but people's going to recognize with I had one of my sons hoarded toilet paper, and he should have been hoarding body wash, deodorant.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And then my other son hoarded bullets. Went and bought a bunch of bullets. I asked him why. He goes, to protect the toilet paper.
You never know. They're coming after my TP, Dad. That ain't right.
If you do not have comedy material from your family,
bro,
you know what I'm saying? My wife, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I had to go to marriage counseling for stupid stuff I said to my wife during this. She's an ER nurse, bro. She had her mask on. She was in full COVID-19 gear to work the COVID hall at the hospital. I texted her. I says, I want you to know how beautiful you are to me today. And she texted back, oh, what's that supposed to mean now that my feet, my body, and my face mask, I'm covered up from head to toe. Exactly. Oh, you like me completely? I was like, honey, I was just trying to give you encouragement for, and then she's like snapping at me. I was like, messed up there.
Step back.
Apparently this, especially being an ER nurse and working the COVID hall, has got you uptight. Right. I'm so sorry. Go back to dealing with death, and I'll continue watching TV. My life.
I didn't know that Audra was Middle Eastern.
I was going to say, you going to mess around. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, but I know she I seen those eyes. The glasses, and I knew that I was dead.
You about to
Yeah.
I did a show for that one time. Did a show in Luling, Texas, for a hospital. Guy walks in, and president of the company was a Muslim. His wife was in full garb, and all you saw were the eyes.
Mhm.
And the two kids were on the front row. They sat on the front row. He folded his arms, did not laugh for an hour and a half.
Woo.
Did not see him smile. I saw his wife's. I thought she laughed because I saw the flap moving. It moved, back and forth. You know what I'm saying? That or she was breathing heavy. I was like, and he walks up to me afterwards, and I looks at me and goes, I want you to know, everybody laughed. Everybody had a wonderful time. I don't know when I have not laughed so hard in a long time.
Oh,
You're very
snap.
funny.
He was like laughing
You
on
didn't
the inside.
You did not laugh. Sorry,
You didn't,
sir.
bro.
I didn't,
Oh, he was
No.
laughing in his soul.
Yeah. Dear
Yeah.
Lord.
He's just laughing in a different language. Well, let me ask you this, Brent. In all the years of doing this, what is some of the best advice somebody gave to you that maybe changed how you approach a crowd, how you approach your writing, how you approach this daily impact for a comedy? What's some of the best advice somebody's given to you?
Have fun.
That's it, man. That is it.
If you're going to be a comedian, have fun. It'll all fall into place if you're enjoying what you're doing.
Hmm.
That's the best advice I can give you. I can't give you writing advice because, like I said, I don't write a lot. But you were asking me, you asked me, said one of the questions I was going to ask you about your comedy writing style. Comedy writing style makes my wife mad. Okay, let me start off by saying that.
Yeah.
Because I write jokes in my sleep,
Mhm.
and then I'll laugh at myself in my, you know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, that's funny. Oh, that's just like, are you writing jokes in your sleep again? I'm going, hey, stop heckling me. I'm trying to dream of success here.
I'm killing them right now. Leave me alone.
And she's like, if that's funny, get up and write it down. I'm going, that wasn't that funny. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But she
It was
hates it.
funny. It just wasn't that funny. I don't want to get out of bed for that.
Exactly.
I do not have a pen and paper and you write jokes and this adds to that. I don't. There's something I think of's funny. I'll get into what I call a writing mood, and then I'll try it out on my wife, and then she gets into a mood. It's like, hey, honey, I got one. Oh, no, come on. This was really funny. What? Was this a bad time? Yes, I'm in the bathroom. I'm like, I'm sorry. I apologize, but I really need an audience right now, and I love you. And you told me to do this comedy thing, so
Right.
no, but just whenever you write, you know when it's funny, and write it down and remember it, because sometimes I hate myself. I'll write a joke, and I know that I could use it, and then I'll be driving, and Audra will make me film it on my phone or do something. She goes, okay, that's extremely funny. Okay. Then I'll get in that mode. Okay, well, I can add this, or I'll call comedian friends and try them out. But write it down, because later, you know what I'm saying, especially when you get old as a dentist, you're not going to remember it. You know what I'm saying?
Boom.
I'm sorry.
Steve, I cannot tell you how many times my phone rings and I go, "Oh, it's Brent," and I answer the phone. He goes, "I want to try this out." He doesn't say, "Hey, how you doing?"
No, he
It's
just
been a while.
throw it out there.
It's you answer, "Hey, how's it going, Brent? I want to try this out." And he goes right into the bit.
Right,
He's
right,
like,
because really nobody cares about Dennis's feelings or how he's doing. They just want a soundboard,
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I really don't want to have to hear about how he's suffering in the home. I love you, Dennis. I just want to say that I really want to come to the club and perform one day. So please don't mute accidentally mute me like you did the opening. I'm sorry. I really need to go on stage. I'm just tired right
It's
now.
all good, bro. It's all good.
Well,
But have y'all?
hey, Brent, I need you to do us a quick favor.
Okay.
So Steve, you're going to have to do some magic button pushing. Put Brent on the screen, and then Brent will just look at in the yeah. You can use that look if you want, but look right there in the camera, and then say you're watching Gutty's TV.
You're watching Gutty's TV. That work?
That's
Yeah.
how that's how Dennis gets some quick little short bits right there, right? Live TV and everything. He doesn't even set it up. He just throws it out there.
Hey, if I say it was as soon as we're done with this, I want you to hang on because we're going to record something else. He'll be like,
Okay.
Okay,
He's like, deuces, I'm out of here. I've given you enough of my time, man. I'm out of here.
I know they still got cheeseburgers at the Waffle House, so I got to go.
I got a question for y'all. I was
go ahead.
doing it earlier. All right. What is the funniest thing, and I'll give you mine, about watching church online?
Oh my goodness, bro. Okay, so depending on who you watch it, because some places got it tight and they got it right. It's like, okay, transition good. But what's killing me is like, when pastors go up there and they're doing what Dennis does, playing with the buttons, and they're like trying to preach, and they're all like, they got their kids in the background, and they're all like, in there. That's what gets me, is the fact that they try so hard to be serious and preach the word, and at the same time they got crazy stuff going on. That kills me every time.
The thing I always love is the camera's on them. They don't have transitions or anything, and so they're talking, and then we're gonna have Sister Gwendolyn come give us a,
and they get off, and nobody exactly. They're like, what?
Hi, I'm Sister Gwendolyn, and I'm supposed to sing the doxology now.
That's horrible. That is
my favorite thing is being able to mute the praise and worship leader after he repeats the same song.
That's good.
50 million times. We're going to do 7 courses in the verse of this particular song that nobody's ever heard of.
Yeah.
It's like, I mute the praise and worship leader and watch something on TV, look down at my phone. Ooh, word from the Lord. Let's hear what the pastor has to say. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I want that ability to do that in church.
Right.
I want to be able to mute him for a deal. It's like, hey, we've been standing for 15 minutes. There's I'm doing the fat man lean. I'm not praising the Lord.
I'm tired,
just shut up.
Right, exactly. Mute.
I like the mute button. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
All I know is when we actually start going to church in person again, my expectations is I'm going to be looking for the mute button, when because I'll be like, I don't want to hear that. There's no mute button. And then when it comes time for communion, I want the kind of communion snacks I've had, for the last. Well, yeah, it's
like cookies, Thin Mints.
It's like, okay, I'm gonna have my Oreo cookies and a bottle of Coke. Let's have communion. Let's have.
My favorite is the churches that do church parking lot services. That kills me because especially when they take up the offering, you show up in your Chevy Seville, my brother Johnson showing up in his Mercedes. They're passing the offering plates between the cars. He just, brother Johnson's over there in his big used old Mercedes. He's the first person with the offering plate. There's nothing in it. And they expect you to give in your old Chevy Seville. You're looking at him judging him going, you just showed up in your Mercedes and I'm driving a piece of junk. Oh, let's see who the Lord's blessing this Sunday.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. Could you turn off your car? Your exhaust is killing the congregation.
It's a drive-by offering plate.
So I got to say, I have not been to a drive-in church in the church parking lot, but when we were kids, we used to travel and sing a lot as a family, and there were a couple of times we did a drive-in church literally it was at a drive-in theater. Then they had their services, and up at the front by the screen, we would come out and we would sing, and we'd finish a song, and everybody, I guess the way they said amen or praise the Lord, they honked the horns.
Oh wow.
And I remember the first time I was like, honk, 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 honk. I was like, what do we do?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm wondering, do they do that in church now when they're like, hey, praise the Lord, honk, 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 honk,
honk, honk. Or like, if it's in LA, it's like
Or what? Can you imagine the pastor going, next Sunday we're doing drive-by baptisms. Just roll down your window, we'll throw the water through the rope.
They got like a power washer.
You drive by, we'll hit you with a super soaker.
Exactly.
But it's holy water.
Right, exactly. Super soaker. Insane, bro. Insane.
Like I said, if you're a new comedian and you're watching this and you do not have anything
jump
about
on,
this,
man.
You're not
you
trying.
need to, you're definitely not. Yeah,
work on it.
Yeah. And now I think kids are getting it a lot easier now because I think parents are more sympathetic with their kids. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, go to your room. You're being punished. Well, that makes two of us. Your stay-at-home order still applies to you, Mama.
Exactly.
It's like, I'm sorry. Come back here. I'm gonna need company.
Yep.
Yeah.
Takes away that thunder, man.
I think if my son was living at home now in this particular time, and he did stuff that he did sometimes when he was still living at home, I'd be tempted to go, okay, you're not grounded. You have to go across to the Wilson's house because I know they have the COVID. You have to go over there.
The Wilson's house. They got the COVID.
So go over there.
Was that a Tom Hanks reference there, Dennis? To Wilson, the ball. Tom Hanks had the.
It could be.
Okay, it could be. I just didn't know. I didn't know he had that much stretch of comedy.
Wow, go ahead, dude. Get it, bro.
I'd like to tell you that I got skills like that, but I kind of stumbled into that one. So, and which is pretty much how I played with a soccer ball or volleyball, whichever one it was that he had there. I don't remember what he had, but anyway. So
good stuff, man.
Well, hey, Brent, thanks so much for taking some time out of your schedule to hang out with us, to share some of your insights.
What schedule?
Well,
Exactly.
Oh.
You got no schedule now.
What do you mean? Keep checking my mailbox for my employment check? Yeah. That schedule.
That's a good schedule.
Well, let's be honest. This is one of those free nights when Audra was at work, and you could have, stayed and watched TV, or you could have walked across the parking lot and kind of did some peeping Tom stuff the way you normally do, because because we all know how stealthy you are.
No.
Okay, I just want to clarify something real quick.
Go ahead.
Just because the manager of Golden Corral Buffet claimed I kept peeking in the window to see when they're reopening, to see what's on the menu. That labels me as a peeper Tom, then go ahead. I really don't care at this particular point. Exactly. I just want a buffet with buffet, but I can't even talk. Buffet with a sneeze guard and a COVID banner, a mask, that says "fill her up." Exactly. I want a mask that says "fill her up" right here. Just shove it in as I walk by,
bro.
So, but no, it's been a blast, man. Thanks for having me on here, and good luck with y'all's opening. And Mr. Bates, I think, is going to be your opener.
Bates, So I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for sharing that those skills too, and those tips on how to be able to work the crowd, man. I can't wait to have you here at Gutty's, man, so we can see that live too as well.
All right,
man. Thanks so much, man, and tell Audra what's up.
I will. I certainly will. I don't never forget her because I'll be dead tomorrow.
There you go. All right, homie.
All right, bye-bye.
Man. Take it easy.
We'll talk to you later, man.
That was dope. That was fun.
Yeah.
That was good stuff, man. Good stuff right there.
He's a good guy, and like I said, I knew we could have him come on and chat with us a bit, just to get some insight from him in terms of how he leans in and does crowd work. It's fun to watch him work. It's fun to watch the audience that just embraces him in that moment,
Right.
because he is a bit loud. He is. He has the tendency to be a little bit in your face at times.
Sure.
But people, they don't run from it. It's just like they want him to invite them into the show. They want to get involved, and he does a great job. And so it's when we were talking about who can we have to maybe talk a little bit about doing some crowd work and connecting with an audience. I said, let's get Brent on.
It's like boom, immediately. Yeah, that's great, man. So that's good. All right, so just so that everybody who's just jumped on too as well, we appreciate you following the Pops and the Rican Show, Gutty's Comedy Club, and Gutty's TV. Just make sure that you leave a comment, like us if you like what you heard, and it was encouraging. We'd like to know more about it. Just click on the like, also comment, and also hit that bell.
Hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, hit the bell.
Subscribe first, and then hit the bell. The bell's over there.
It's
I think
all in there, so you know what's up. You know the deal. You know how it works. Make sure you do that and follow us, so every time Gutty's TV puts out some content, you're ready to go. So
give
just
us thumbs up.
Yeah, give us a thumbs up. Let us know what we're doing is good, and if you like it, go ahead and hit us up. If you don't, we don't want to know about it, but it's all good. Either way, we'll be able to work through it. So we appreciate you guys big time. Keep and notice that you can download our mobile app so that you can get all the information that's going on with Gutty's Comedy Club. You're gonna be able to buy tickets online. I'm sorry, through the app. You can buy tickets for every show. You can also get merch too as well to support Gutty's Comedy Club. You want to do that. And also we have a relief fund too as well to help us through as we're getting out of this this cloud of this whole COVID-19. We have a relief fund too as well. So if you go on there or even go to guttyscomedyclub.com/gift, GIFT, you can help us out there as well. And those of you who've already done so, thank you so much for doing that. We got Gutty's Tubies coming into as well. The mask, when you come to the show, you'll be able to rock a Tubi as well. So that way you're like, you know what? Gutty's got it down. They got hand sanitizers. They got 6 feet away from each other. And they also got Gutty's Tubies. And we're going to enjoy some comedy. So we want to see you the 29th, 30th here at Gutty's Comedy Club with Joe Bates, Jake Rubel, and Huss Ridgway too as well. So I'm excited about that, man, and I'm glad that we're able to start rocking the shows, bro. So
now,
I appreciate it.
I want to make sure everybody knows this, though.
Yeah.
We are doing shows that weekend of the 29th and the 30th of May. And then the next weekend we've got the Gutty's Gumbo Variety Show with
that's another
with Gas Man coming in to making some phenomenal music, and Larry George is going to be doing some comedy that night.
Yep.
But I want to make sure everybody understands, under the new guidelines, at least for the foreseeable future, from what I'm understanding, probably until the 4th of July weekend, we have to run at 50% of the house, and so we only have 40 seats per show. So if you're wanting to come to a show, get your tickets now.
Get your tickets
because once they sell out,
that's it.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to wait for the next one.
We can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
We can't add more seats because we only have 40 seats allowed.
Yep.
So get your tickets now so you don't miss the show. Come out and support live comedy and laugh, because it's going to be phenomenal medicine. Yeah. And we want to be your laughter pharmacy. That's right. We want to give it to you and make sure that you walk out of here with a good spirit and good spirits and ready to tackle the week. So we appreciate you guys very much. So again, go online or just go to Google Play, App Store, download the mobile app. It's so much easier now to be able to do that because you have immediate instant access to all of our information about Gutty's Comedy Club. So do that. And again, catch us next week for another episode of Pops and the Rican Show too as well. Like us, subscribe, and hit that bell. You know the deal. So again, this is another exciting episode, wasn't it, Pops? Hey, this has been fun. And even through all of that and the laughter and how what was the fat guy that was on here? Brent, that was his yeah, when he was making fun of me and the fact I was in the home and stuff, I still know who I am. Yeah. I'm Pops.
That's right. And I'm the Rican.
And this has been the Pops and the Rican Show.
Deuces.
Woo-hoo. Deuces.
Pops and the Rican.
Pops and the Rican.
Pops and the Rican. Pops and the Rican. What's the Pops and the Rican? Look at the top of his head. Pops and the Rican.
Pops and